Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of AIA Edition, the student-run news program coming to you from the Art Institute in Atlanta. I'm your host, Jessica Smith. Today we'll feature a video cookbook from our own culinary school students. For our professional spotlight, we'll feature our story on Coach Anthony Harris, and for our last segment, we'll be speaking with Wesley Summers, a recent graduate in video production in our alumni spotlight. We'll be right back after this.
Visit flexsmart.gov/listen.
Welcome back to the show. First up, we'll highlight our very own International Culinary School with our video cookbook.
My name is Russ Matthews. I'm a student at the International Culinary School at our Institute of Atlanta. Today we'll be making an Italian dish, braciole calabrese, which is stuffed pork packets braised in a red wine sauce. So we'll make the stuffing first. What I have here are 2 large eggs beaten, a ½ cup of shredded Romano cheese. You can use pecorino or any kind of hard Italian cheese. Put that right in. We've got 2 tablespoons of chopped Italian parsley. All right. And 2 cloves of garlic that's minced. So put that in there. There we go. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go on and mix this up really well. Just want to get all of this combined in. Okay, if it looks a little wet, that's because it is. We want that because the next ingredient we're going to add is going to be Italian breadcrumbs. Now you're going to slowly add the breadcrumbs and mix between additions because the whole point of this is to get a nice spreadable paste. Okay? Okay, exactly. Now, once you get the stuffing to the precise way that you want it, what you'll want to do is to go ahead and get some salt. Give it a little hit of salt because breadcrumbs do not naturally come seasoned. So we have to do that for them. All right. That's a nice spreadable paste. If you look and see, we're just going to kind of push it around. That's going to be exactly what we want for our stuffing. So now that our stuffing is finished, what we're going to do is we're going to take our pork. Now, you can use 16 ounces of pork loin cut into pieces. What we've done is we've gone ahead and we've made a couple of pork cutlets here, as you can see. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of just simple plastic wrap. We're going to lay one of our pork cutlets right here in the center. Take a second sheet, and we're going to lay it over the top just like that. Then we take our handy-dandy meat mallet here, and we're going to very gently work along the outside of this. Now, it's very important that you not hammer away at the meat. If you do that, you're going to tear your meat, and that's going to make for a very poor presentation. So you just want to kind of push it, bring it towards you, and then push the far edge of the meat away from you. You want to make a rectangle type shape with this, and you want to get it about 1/8 of an inch thick. Kind of like scallopini, if you're familiar with that. So we just keep working it here gently. You know, don't get in a rush, and don't tear your meat. Okay, let's check. Yeah. That looks good. That's great. Carefully peel it off. And that's about the thickness you want. It's the thickness, it's about the width. So that's really looking great. What we're going to do now that we have our cutlet pounded out, we're going to take a bit of our stuffing and we're going to put it right on the middle. Now you want to leave about 1/4 inch on every side, okay? So you don't want to put the stuffing all the way out to the edge. You want to leave a little bit of space on the meat. You also don't want to get the stuffing too thick. If you get it too thick, you're going to have a hard time rolling the pork. So push it down. If you've got too much, like I do right here, just take it off, put it to the side. Don't put it back in with your good stuffing. That would be cross-contamination. That's bad. We don't want that. So I'm going to just push it down, push it down. Okay, now once we have our cutlet like this, we're going to take it, we're going to roll it over. Just push, gently push. Again, be gentle with the meat. You don't want to tear it. You just want to roll it. Okay, now, if we were to put that into a frying pan right this second, unfortunately, it would rip to shreds. That's not what we want. So we're going to take butcher's twine, and we're going to tie off. First, we're going to tie off one end here. You just use a simple knot, over, under, and pull tight. And then again, over, under, and pull tight. We're going to go to the middle, over, under, and pull tight. And the last one, you guessed it, we're going to do it right here on the far end, over, under, and tight. Okie doke. And we're going to cut off, carefully cut off, the excess strings. Now, I have behind me here a very, very, very hot pan. We're going to put this directly in, and we want to hear that sizzle. That sizzle is great because what we're doing at this point is we are going to sear off the surface of the meat. We're going to get some really good color, really good caramelization on this. As soon as it gets done with the searing, we're going to add our braising liquid, and that's really going to be what cooks our meat here. But this is going to give it the crunch, it's going to give it the texture, and it's going to give it the flavor that we are really looking for here. See, if you look, you can see where you've got the caramelization all along the top there. That's really, really good stuff. We really like that. All right, now we're going to remove this from the heat. We're going to take red wine. We're going to take a 1/4 cup red wine. And you want to do this off the heat because your pan is going to be so hot. Otherwise, you're going to have a fire on your hands. That's not good. We've got a 1/2 cup of chicken broth, a 1/2 cup of fresh tomato sauce. We're going to add 2 sprigs of rosemary. However, these are really big sprigs of rosemary, so we're just going to fold the one in half, and we'll crush it a little bit, throw it in. Okie doke. I'm going to take a sheet of aluminum foil. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to crimp this around. Now be careful because this is going to be kind of hot, but you want to be sure to get that completely crimped down. You need to keep all of the steam that you're going to be working to build here in this pan. So get it nice and tight in just like that. There. Okay. Now, we're going to let it braise for about 45 minutes. Okay. Our pork is cooked for about 45 minutes. Now it's tender, it's been braised. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and the first thing we want to do, instead of cutting immediately, we want to go in and we want to remove those strings that I put on. So we're going to take a paring knife, and we're just going to cut the strings off. Don't worry about the meat. By this point, it's cooked to the point that it's not going to just fall apart. Now, the end here is not particularly attractive, so we're going to go on and remove it. Just cut it right off. And we're going to cut it right along the middle, just like that. And what we have here now, as you can see, we've got a beautiful stuffed pork loin. It's nice, cooked very, very well, very tender, and the breading is cooked all the way through. Okay? And we're going to put that right here on a plate with some roasted tournaise potato and julienne carrots. We also have this sauce, which is our braising liquid. It's been thickened and reduced down through the cook time. So we're going to take a little bit of that, and we're just going to drizzle it right across the plate, just like that. Okay, and that's it. Stuffed pork loin, braciole calabrese. My name is Russ Matthews, and this is our recipe to you.
Once again, our culinary students amaze with their skills at creating excellent cuisine. We'll be right back after these messages.
As we get older, our chances of developing breast cancer increase. However, every year, more women continue to live meaningful lives because their breast cancer was discovered and treated early. Every woman deserves to be healthy, And a good way to make sure you don't have breast cancer is to have a mammogram every year. If you're over 40, call about a free mammogram. Do it for yourself and the people you love. Every woman counts, every year.
Welcome to AIA Edition. I'm your host, Jessica Smith, and for our professional spotlight this evening, one of our producers, Skyler Whitehead, had an opportunity to speak with Coach Anthony Harris from Parkway Academy High School in Miramar, Florida. Coach Harris is currently the Dean of Students and the head football and track coach. His football team is well known in the Tri-County areas of South Florida for their offensive and defensive players, many of whom have been recruited to Division I schools. Continue watching as Skyler talks with Coach Harris about what it took for him to get to the professional level and how it had such a great impact on his life and the lives of his players.
Hey, welcome back to AIA Edition. I'm Skyler Whitehead. We're here with Coach Anthony Harris today. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. So tell me, when did you discover your passion for football and coaching?
Well, ever since I've been 7 years old, I wanted to play professional football. Now, by the grace of God, I've been able to accomplish that through high school, college, and pro. But the coaching issue, if you asked me when I was playing football, I would tell you I never wanted to coach, but until I got an opportunity to coach at the high school I'm at right now, which is Parkway Academy.
Okay. So when did you start coaching at Parkway Academy?
In 2004, I came out on a volunteer basis and got the opportunity to be the defensive coordinator because that's what I specialize in. All the years I played linebacker and coordinating my defense at Parkway Academy. So it originated in 2004 up until present time now where I'm the head coach and the defensive coordinator.
Wow, so things have really progressed since you've gotten there.
Oh, yes, it really has. It's been a blessing. I thank God for it, to being a leader in front of these kids and to really, map out and course them out to try to get them to college level and to also make them be better men outside of Parkway Academy. It's always been a pleasure.
So I understand you're also the Dean of Students at Parkway. Is that different from coaching at all, or how is it?
Very different. One of my main things is to be able to be in a school where my young men can see me all day long, and the capacity that I have there, being administrator, being the dean at Parkway, helps me keep them in line because my duties there are to watch over for discipline and make sure that they too be men off the field as well as on the field.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
I went to college at Auburn University. 1991 was my freshman year. Went there and played 4 years under Pat Dye, 2 years, and 2 years under Terry Bowden.
Okay. Did you have any injuries when you played, or?
Yes. All the years I played, from little league to high school to college and to pro, I really never had any major injuries until my pro year in 1998 was my first injury. I tore my groin, which was a hard injury to come back from, but by the grace of God, I did. And the only other major injury that I had was I tore my Achilles, which pretty much ended my career. It's an injury that people have all the time that come back from it, but just unfortunate for me, it wasn't anything I can talk about after my Achilles injury because that pretty much was the end of my career.
Wow. Well, I mean, what is it like once you get that far, and your career stop that way? Is it rough, or?
It's really tough. To elaborate on that a little bit more, it was hard for me even to watch the game of football. Knowing that you still have the capabilities or you think you're useful enough to still go out and play and not being able to play. It's one thing to know that you're injured and you can't go out and play because obviously that's one of the things that keep you off the field. But once you regain, walking, running, things of that nature and not being able to go out and compete, it's very hard. So for years, it took me a while to even sit and watch the game of football.
Wow. I mean, coming back from that now, I mean, obviously you watch the game and you're teaching the game. What brought you back?
Well, really, what really happened was when I got the opportunity to embark upon some young men's lives and help them reach their goals as far as going to college and hopefully, taking them on to the professional realm. One thing about me that's kept me going is the fact that I still play football through them. As far as instilling in them. If you ever watch a game that I coach, you would think I'm crazy, I'm a madman, because I run up and down the field. I'm very energetic, very excited with my players. When they score a touchdown, I meet them in the end zone. And those are the type of things that I do as far as to kind of keep me still living the game of football through my players.
All right, so you got to tell me, what is it like to win a championship?
Well, winning a championship on any level is like the ultimate. I've been fortunate enough to win a championship in high school, college, but not fortunate enough in the pros. But when you reach that level, whether you do it by having undefeated season or you get into the playoffs and you make it all the way and win a championship, it's something that you can say, well, all the sweat and tears that you've done during the summer, it was well worth it. All the hurt, the pain, the lifting weights, the waking up early, all those things culminate to that last game saying we did it and we're world champions, and it's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, you got to show us the ring, man. Show it.
Well, it's a championship ring I secured at Auburn University, 1993. I cherish this, even though it's been years apart from this ring. It was a year in which we went undefeated, beat every team that we played. And in the SEC, anybody knows the Southeastern Conference is the toughest conference in football. I don't say that just because I played at Auburn, but anybody knows football knows it is. But to do an undefeated season when people call us the radio champions, and what I mean by that is we weren't on TV, we was on probation because of some things that happened prior to even our class coming in. And they really wouldn't crown us the ultimate champions because of the fact that we had a little scar in our, what you say, our season because of some things that we didn't do. But that season was wonderful. And to be a leader on that team, I led the team in defense. I was defensive captain. I was all SEC that year. It was a wonderful feeling to finally culminate the final season to pretty much put it in people's face, saying, now there. We're champions. You can't take it away from us because we won it on the field.
Yeah, that ring is huge, and that's cool. That's a really cool story. Is it a lot of underdog? Everybody knows and loves the underdog. Was it like an underdog season for you guys, or? Of
course, because no one was really looking for us to do anything, mainly because of the fact that, there was a lot of negative things around the school. Again, not, anybody that was there, even the personnel as far as the players and the coaches had nothing to do with why we were in probation. But we took it as a motivation by saying, we're going to shock the world, we're going to shock the nation and let them know that Auburn's come to play no matter what. No matter what you try to take away from us, we're still going to win it on the football field.
So what's the success rate for your players at this point, going into college?
They're very successful. One thing that I wouldn't say has been too successful with my young kids is battling the SAT scores. There's a lot of things, SAT and ACT scores will keep them out of the big Division I schools, because I would love to have a player from my school that I coach to go to my school at Auburn and say I sent them to my alma mater. But the only thing is their test scores haven't been the greatest. They're hardworking kids. They come inner city, single family homes and things of that nature, and they do the best they can. But getting to college, I send 6, 7, 8 guys to college every year. Some smaller schools. This year we sent a kid to FIU, which is my first Division I signing. And then with hopes for more to come, but just unfortunately the SAT and ACT scores is kind of rough for the kids.
Now, that's been all around though, from what I've noticed across the nation. A lot of kids' scores have been low like that. How are you, adjusting with the school, as a school as a whole, to help that?
Well, we created a class called SAT Prep, SAT and ACT Prep, which preps the kids for the SAT and ACT. A lot of tutoring, a lot of things they do on the weekends as far as tutoring sessions to help better themselves for the SAT and ACT. And hopefully it'll translate into more kids being able to reach the scores that they need, as well as we're trying to keep the kids, because if anybody knows about the SAT, it's on a sliding scale, which means the higher your GPA, the lower you have to score on the SAT. And so we're trying to combat that by making our kids or instilling our kids to get high GPAs so they don't have to score as high to maybe offset sometimes that they can't get in from their scores.
Wow, okay. Do you have any Protege students that you've reunited with lately?
Oh yes, Stanley Jennings is a product from Pompano, Florida, and he's down here in Marietta. He went to Marietta High School. He's a senior this year. Unbelievable talent. Quarterback, about 6'3", 220-pound quarterback, which is unheard of in high school, and flat-footed, can throw the length of the football field. He'll be attending Dean College when the season's over this year. A junior college, again, didn't score high enough on the SAT, but he's a very talented guy, a great guy. And he's one of the guys that exemplifies being a Protege player. He works hard on the field and off the field. And it's a credit to him. He's getting ready to go to college and try to better his athletic career.
Okay. I mean, after you reunited with him, have you, made any plans to try to continue to coach him, or what's coming up next for you?
Well, for me, it's whatever God has for me. I want to continue to coach and hopefully one day get off into the college realms. I'm a firm believer that now that I've got into the coaching, I want to coach on every level that I played in, starting from the high school level. I don't want to go all the way back to Pop Warner, but I've coached in high school. Now I want to coach in college eventually, whenever the guy opens up the door for me, and then possibly even coaching in pro. As far as coaching Stanley, he's going on to college right now. Dean right now is not in the near future. The college he's going to attend, but I would love to continue to keep track of him, because the relationships that I develop with young men are not football relationships, they're lifelong relationships. So all the gentlemen that I've coached go off to college, and the first thing they come back when they come visit is, let me go see what Coach Harris is doing. And that's very important to me, because I don't want any pat on the back. It's just that I want to know that they're doing well in the classroom first, then on the football field. But once I find out they're doing well in the classroom, we can talk about football all night long.
Cool. So I mean, would that be a dream for you too, to follow your students? If you had a protege player that played with you in high school, to follow him in college and coach him there too? Of
course. I mean, I read the stories all the time where you meet coaches that have coached players, or players that have gonna come back to coach with them that they've coached. It'll be a dream of mine to one day reunite with some players that I've coached in the high school level on to the college, and even possibly in the pro. It'll be another story that we can come back and talk about one day, but it would definitely be a dream of mine if that happened. Because my players are definitely worthy of that, and me as a coach, I'm just getting my feet wet when it comes to coaching, and definitely want to coach for quite some time.
Okay. So, you know, for all the athletes at home, or for anyone that wants to be, you know, a part of your team and wants to follow you, how could they contact you?
Well, I have a website. It's www.coachharris.com, and our email address is aharris@coachharris.com. So it's very simple to, easy to get in contact with me. And on my website, you'll see a lot of different things, including the upcoming events. I'm doing some camps down in Florida in the month of April and May, some tentative dates that are out there to help train some of the younger kids from ages 14 to 18, and hopefully to help mold them and shape them into better athletes. Not necessarily just my kids, opening up the camp into other kids that come from the Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you coming to talk with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. This is Skyler at AIA Edition from the Art Institute of Atlanta. We'll talk to you guys soon.
It was great of Coach Harris to allow us to visit with him. He's not only building character, he's building champions. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. In each episode, we shine the spotlight on our Art Institute graduates and show a slice of their lives after college. Today's Alumni Spotlight is extra special. Today we have in our studio, Wesley Summers. Hey Wesley.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Doing
Thank you for coming out and joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us very quickly, for everyone watching, when did you graduate Art Institute?
I graduated from Art Institute in, it was the summer of '05, and received my associate in video production after getting my Bachelor's of Science in Mass Communications from East Carolina in '03.
Okay, excellent. So you've been, I'm sure you've been quite hard at work in the past couple of years since graduation.
Trying to stay busy.
Yeah. Well, let's find out a little bit about it. First off, I'd like to know what initially inspired you to pursue a career in video production. I mean, was it a particular motion picture or a television show?
No, basically what it was, like, I wanted to be a sports anchor, go to all the games and free tickets and, sit there and talk about it and everything. I thought that'd be great.
Sounds
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, but soon found out that in a couple of reporting classes that you have to be able to talk to somebody, write your story, and be ready to go up on camera in like 15 minutes. I'm like, nah, this ain't for me. Let me get on the other side of the camera. So, once I got back in the control room and got back editing and everything, I realized that, I really, really like this. Like, you actually get to tell the story more than, actually just being the reporter.
Well, it sounds like you made a great decision.
Yeah.
I mean, now I would like to ask you this. Do you feel that the streaming video websites, like the YouTubes and stuff that are out there, is that advantageous or detrimental to anyone in our industry?
It's nothing but advantageous, I think. Like, maybe for the big boys, well, even for the big guys, it's advantageous for them as well. Because, I mean, everybody is on the internet. Not everybody might be able to make it to, the movie theater or whatever, but they can at least see, like, a little snippet or trailer on the internet if they don't get to catch it on TV. And then plus it gives everybody, like, a fair voice too. Like, even if you only have, like, a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 just to buy, like, an entry-level camera, you can still make something funny or something you know, dramatic or whatever with your friends and put it up on YouTube, and millions of
and
people are
I bet
watching
you really encourage everyone out there to do that as well. Start making a name for themselves and just kind of enjoy it and have fun with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Do you have a particular part of the production process that's your most favorite?
I would definitely have to say editing, because, you know, sometimes you gotta be a magician and turn something that really wasn't that great into, you know,
something that is. Something that people want to see. So for your work in particular, have you won any particular awards for it? Especially for the one, I Am Not a Role Model.
Yeah, for the I'm Not a Role Model one, that was actually an award I won here during, I believe it was called the Digital and Media Festival they had here at school. Me and one of my other friends, Ryan Dunn, we put that one together, and we won first place for that one. I think it was like Best in Show, we won for that one. And last year during June, for the June month on ourstage.com, another movie I worked on with some friends called Southern Fried Chop Suey, it won second place out of like 200 and some odd videos on.
Like I said, everyone needs to be checking out Southern Fried Chop Suey.
Exactly.
And I Am Not a Role Model, if you haven't already. Tell us a little bit about I Am Not a Role Model. What is it about?
It's basically about like all of the athletes and superstars that we put all this like praise upon and everything, and you know, realize they live just like us. They're no better, they're no worse. You know, they make mistakes, they do stupid things, but so when they do something stupid, you know, you got ESPN, you know, sitting there pointing out every little flaw and everything that they have, and oh, you're such a terrible person. How could you ever do that? And it's like, dude, chill out. You know, everybody makes mistakes, and you know, you should really be looking up to like, you know, your parents and like, you know, people who actually do something, not just some guy because he can throw a ball through a hoop or catch a ball.
So in a way, you took this kind of a mockumentary, right? Kind of a comedy piece, but it also has a little bit of a message behind it, that story that you wanted to tell. Now there's a saying in filmmaking, right? Dying is easy, comedy is hard. Yet a lot of filmmakers are very intimidated by comedy. What is it about comedy that most appeals to you? I mean, you've had such exceptional work in the comedic field.
I just like it. I mean, just have fun doing, just like all the crazy, stupid ideas that come out of my head. It's like, hey, everyone should enjoy this.
So you're not as intimidated by the idea of comedy and putting that out there?
Nah, just get out there, have a good time. Like, I feel like, you know, like where that saying might be coming from is that some filmmakers or, you know, people in general, whenever they're starting out, they think like, okay, let's make some big shoot 'em up, kill 'em movie just because, you know, everybody loves action. It's like the nice little safe hit, you know, little softball, whatnot. But I don't know, I just like comedy.
You like the challenge, it sounds like. It sounds like you really like to challenge yourself. Now, do you have a secret to producing good comedy? Is there a particular recipe that you can give other filmmakers to use?
When I figure out the recipe, I will let you know.
We'll
Still in the kitchen and still fixing.
Come back and let us know when you do. Now, you also participated apparently a few times in the 48-hour film festival. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
It's fun. Like, for anybody out there who hasn't had the chance to participate in the 40-hour film festival, I would definitely recommend. You need to at least try, you know, at least a time or two or whatnot. I worked on a couple films. Some of the most known ones, I guess, would probably either be Hands Down and Huff. And for Hands Down, we won the audience award for that one. So,
hey, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's especially from the audience award, right? To get it from the people who saw it and are interested in it, who really liked it. Now, what sort of projects do you have lined up in the future? What's coming up in store?
Well, right now, I'm actually just now finishing Tuesday as my last day. I'm taking a small business entrepreneurship class, so my next big venture is to start my own business.
That sounds very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So, you give us do you have a name for the business?
It's going to be called Formula 61.
Okay, sounds very fun. I'm very excited to have gotten to talk to you. I do obviously want to encourage everyone to see your films. Check them out. They can check them out online. Yep.
Southern Fried Chop Suey is on Our Stage, YouTube, all those, you know, break.com, all those things like that. Let's see, I'm Not a Role Model is out there on YouTube as well. And
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for coming by.
Okay.
We want to thank Wesley Summers for stopping in to see us. We'll be right back after this.
All right, 2 more of that. And 2. Arms good and tired, yeah?
A message from Allison. Be smart, be brave, what I'm really trying to say. Someone needs to take a peek at a part of which we rarely speak. What the heck? Just get your darn colon checked, okay?
Okay. That's the buzz. I'm out of here, people. You're great. Even you. Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this installment of AIA Edition. Our thanks to our culinary department, who always prepares such fabulous cuisine. Special thanks to Coach Anthony Harris for our professional segment, and to Wesley Summers for coming to our studios and speaking to us about his life after Art Institute. From all of us at AIA Media, I'm Jessica Smith. We'll see you next time.